September 15th, 2016. Quite an unusual map, guys. In the far right, it's the first time I can remember thus getting a 10% chance of a cyclone formation over the continent of Africa. We've seen them come off and rapidly develop. You got Tropical Depression 12, which is a large storm. You got Ian that's going back, still curving back to the northeast. Julian has jumped back from a depression to a tropical storm since it has passed now into the warmer Gulf Stream. Our little storm we've been watching for days, guys, has went from a 10 to a 20% chance of cyclone formation. Now, Julia, here back to a tropical storm. The spaghetti models they really look crazy. I understand what they're talking about is coming out with a looping delay, and 3 of the models taking it up into the northern Atlantic, 2 dipping it south. A couple of them they don't go beyond the loop if you look at it very closely, and that's telling you it's going to get caught up in the front. Now, this is 12. All the models now are tracking due west towards the United States. Now, let's look at the western images coming off of Africa, guys. You've got the 12 right there, and the storm that's over the continent could be a monster storm. Again, I've never seen them be that hot and full of energy while still on land. That may have happened. I just can't remember in my lifetime, and I've never seen in history about it. You guys can check that out. Here is our little storm we've been watching, guys, from as it's come across the Atlantic Ocean into the Gulf. Now, the wind streams are showing it moving into the Texas coast. Again, 20% chance of cyclone formation. It's in warm waters, and there's warm waters all through that area, so it could strengthen. It's been dealing with a lot of wind shears. We look at the infrared, but you can see the rotation of the feeder bands if you check this out, guys. As it spins under this low pressure system, it's picked up a lot of momentum as far as the width of the storm at the level of the ocean. Again, see that right there, the last image. You can see how everything's wrapping out in that classic feeder band shape, just like that. Now, what it's going to do, it looks like move west. Let's look at Julia from high-def satellites at 2,000 kilometers. You can see as it came out, it went from a tropical depression storm to a depression. Now it's back to a tropical storm because it's over these warmer waters. It's getting stripped pretty good by upper-level shear that's blowing north and northeast. But notice in the last few frames that it has started that downward loop, and that's what they've been looking at. Now, it's over the warmest water that it's going to see, unless it happens to loop back into the Gulf. But it doesn't look like it's going to be in a hurry to leave. We're just going to have to watch it. Again, 3 of the models are letting it sit there, loop around, and go back out over the North Atlantic. Now, this is the entire top of the globe, and I want to put it in infrared with your rainbow imaging. This storm, right there, that's the last frame. Almost got a face in the bottom. See that round frame? Guys, that could be a monster, and it's south enough coming off the coast to where it's not going to do that automatic curve like Ian has done and a couple of other storms we've seen this year. But this kind of gives you an idea of everything that we're seeing on our side of the planet. There's Julia, our tropical low in the Gulf, Ian spinning up into the North Atlantic, tying into that front, and back over towards Africa. Again, guys, this is so low coming off the coast of Africa as far as your longitude and latitude. If I invert it, you can see in the last frames that it's already started to wrap. Very unusual. What changes will it have as it comes offshore and gets into that water? That's going to be hard to tell because it's such an unusual storm. Guys, this is an unusual year for record rains. We saw it earlier this year when the low pressure system came in and got Louisiana, Mississippi. We've seen it with Hermine. We've seen it with a couple of other storms. And Julia there's been people without power, trees down, things like that. And this is one more image close up coming off the African coast. That red flash, guys, is actually the sun passing over. It's got the surface heat hotter than any other place on the planet at that point. But we're almost getting a very large rotation from the storm still on the continent. There's your last image as we come through, going back into rainbow. But that one could be the one that we have not had in about 11 years. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.